A love beyond stars. The twin suns of Zephyria set for the last time on that fateful day 10 years ago. Princess Lyra Zor-El stood on the balcony of the Crystal Palace, her violet eyes reflecting the peaceful horizon. She was only 18 then, innocent and filled with dreams of uniting the galaxies through diplomacy and love. But peace was an illusion. The sky tore open with the roar of Earth's warships. General Marcus Kane's fleet descended like metal vultures, their weapons charging with the hum of death. The official report would later claim it was a preemptive strike against a terrorist cell. But Lyra knew the truth. There were no terrorists in the palace that day. Only families, only children, only her people. The bombardment lasted 17 minutes. In those 17 minutes, 3 million souls vanished into cosmic dust. Her father, Emperor Zor-El, used his last breath to shield her with an ancient protective spell. Her mother's final words echoed in her mind. "Survive, my daughter. Live, and when the time comes, make them understand our pain." Lyra survived, but the girl who loved poetry and painted nebulas died that day. 10 years later, Lyra stood before the Galactic Council, no longer a frightened teenager, but a woman forged in the fires of grief. Her silver hair flowed like liquid starlight, and her eyes, once violet, now shifted colors with her emotions. Gray for calculation, red for rage, never blue. Blue was for happiness, and she had forgotten what that felt like. "The Council has reached a decision," announced Vedanta, the ancient telepathic mediator whose form shimmered between dimensions. "To prevent further bloodshed between Earth and Zephyria, a union must be forged. Princess Lyra Zor-El will marry General Marcus Kane. This is not a request. This is the price of peace." The chamber erupted in whispers. Lyra's eyes flashed crimson, then settled into cold steel gray. "I accept," she said, her voice smooth as poisoned honey. The council members relaxed, but Vedanta's ancient eyes narrowed. This being who could read thoughts across galaxies felt something dark coiling in the princess's heart. But the decision was made. Marcus Kane stood in his military quarters aboard the Earth flagship Redemption, staring at the holographic image of Princess Lyra. He had seen this face in his nightmares for 10 years. Every night he relived that day, the moment he received the false intelligence, the moment he gave the order to fire, the moment he realized too late that they had been deceived. His hand trembled as he touched the scar on his chest, a self-inflicted wound from the day he learned the truth. The terrorist cell never existed. The intelligence was fabricated by someone in the Earth High Command who wanted war, wanted Zephyrria's resources. Marcus was a puppet, and 3 million innocent people paid the price. He had spent a decade trying to find who gave the false orders, trying to bring them to justice. But the trail went cold, buried under classified files and convenient deaths. Now he would marry the daughter of the man he killed. He expected no mercy. He deserved none. "General Kane, the transport is ready," his aide announced. Marcus straightened his uniform, took a deep breath, and walked toward his judgment day.
The wedding took place on Neutral Station Harmony, a massive space station that floated in the void between Earth and Zephyria. Thousands watched via holographic transmission, some hoping for peace, others waiting for blood. Lyra wore a gown woven from crystallized starlight, traditional for Zephyrian royalty. It shimmered with every movement, but her face was a mask of ice. Marcus wore his military dress uniform, though he had removed all medals. He felt unworthy to wear honors while standing before the woman whose world he destroyed. They stood before Vedanta, who performed the ancient ceremony. When it came time to join hands, Lyra's touch was cold, not metaphorically, but literally. Her Zephyrian physiology could control temperature, and she made sure he felt her frost. "Do you, Princess Lyra Zor-El, take this man as your eternal bond, to share life force and destiny until the stars grow cold?" "I do." Her voice was empty. "Do you, General Marcus Kane, take this woman as your eternal bond, to share life force and destiny until the stars grow cold?" Marcus looked into her eyes, currently a stormy gray, and saw the hatred there. He saw the little girl who once danced in crystal gardens. He saw the woman who had every right to despise him. "I do," he whispered. "And I'm sorry. I know it means nothing, but I am so deeply sorry." For a fraction of a second, Lyra's eyes flickered violet, surprise, before returning to gray. Vedanta placed their joined hands over a sphere of pure energy. "Then, by the power vested in me by the Galactic Council, you are bound. What the cosmos has joined, let no force tear asunder." The energy sphere exploded in a cascade of light, and Marcus felt something shift in his chest, a connection forming, ancient and powerful. The Zephyrian bonding ritual was real. Their life forces were now linked. If one died, the other would follow. Lyra felt it too, and for the first time, fear crept into her heart. Her plan had been simple: make him love her, then destroy him, watching him suffer as she had suffered. But now, if she killed him, she would die too. She would need a new plan. Their living quarters on Harmony Station were luxurious but impersonal. 2 separate bedrooms connected by a common area. Lyra immediately went to her room and locked the door. Marcus stood in the common area, surrounded by gifts from across the galaxy. Peace offerings, political tokens, none of it real. He walked to the viewing window and stared at the stars. "I won't force anything on you. I know this is a prison sentence for you. I'll give you space. I'll give you whatever you need. I need you to know that I've spent every day of the last 10 years trying to find out who set us both up. Someone wanted that war. Someone wanted your people dead. And I will find them." Silence. Then Lyra's voice came through the door, sharp as a blade. "You think finding some scapegoat will absolve you? You gave the order. You pulled the trigger. The blood of 3 million is on your hands, General." I know. And if I could trade my life for theirs, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I can't. All I can do is make sure the real monsters face justice." More silence. Marcus went to his room, but sleep wouldn't come. In the room next door, Lyra sat on her bed, her carefully constructed mask cracking. A single tear rolled down her cheek, the first she had allowed herself in years. She touched her chest, feeling the strange new connection to the man she was supposed to hate. The bond pulsed with his emotions: guilt, sorrow, determination. "No," she whispered to herself. "Don't feel sympathy. Remember what he took from you. Remember the screams. Remember the fire." But the bond kept pulsing, and for the first time in 10 years, she wasn't alone with her pain.
The first month of their marriage was a Cold War. They attended diplomatic functions together, playing the part of a united couple. Lyra was always perfectly cordial in public, her arm linked with Marcus's, her smile diplomatic. But the moment they returned to their quarters, the mask fell. Marcus tried everything. He cooked earth dishes for her. She wouldn't eat them. He researched Zephyrian culture and tried to honor her traditions. She ignored him. He gave her space. She used it to plot. But cracks began to form in her armor. One night, Marcus woke to the sound of screaming. He rushed to Lyra's door, found it unlocked, and burst in. She was thrashing in her bed, trapped in a nightmare. Her eyes were open but unseeing, glowing bright red. The room's temperature had dropped to freezing, and ice crystals formed on the walls. "Lyra!" Marcus shook her gently. "Wake up! You're safe!" She struck out with telekinetic force, sending him flying across the room, but the impact woke her. She gasped, eyes returning to normal, and saw Marcus groaning on the floor. "Don't," she said coldly as he tried to approach. "I don't need your help." "You were having a nightmare," Marcus said, rubbing his shoulder. "About that day." "Every day is a nightmare about that day," Lyra snapped. "You don't get to comfort me for trauma you caused." Marcus nodded slowly. "You're right. I have them too. The nightmares. I see their faces. I hear the explosions. I wake up trying to take back that order." Lyra stared at him, her defenses wavering. You dream about them?" "Every single night. I see your father shielding you. I see the children in the gardens. I see—" His voice broke. "I see everything I destroyed, and I can never unsee it." For the first time, Lyra saw him as something other than a monster. She saw a man carrying an unbearable weight. "Why did you do it?" she asked, her voice barely audible. "Why did you give that order?" Marcus sat on the floor, leaning against the wall. "The intelligence report said there was a weapons facility in the palace. They said it was building a doomsday device that would destroy Earth. They showed me satellite images, intercepted communications, everything. It all looked real. I had 2 hours to make a decision that would affect billions of lives." I laughed bitterly. I thought I was saving the galaxy. Instead, I became its greatest murderer. "Show me," Lyra demanded. "Show me this intelligence report." Marcus looked up in surprise. "What?" "If you want me to believe you were deceived, prove it. Show me the evidence." For the next 3 weeks, they worked together, combing through classified military files. Marcus used his access codes. Lyra used her Zephyrien technology to decrypt hidden files. They barely spoke except to share findings, but the ice between them slowly thawed. Late one night, Lyra found something. "Marcus," she called out, the first time she'd used his first name. He rushed to her side. "Look at this. The satellite images you were shown, they're fabricated. See his pixel degradation? This is from a rendering program, not actual satellite imaging." Marcus leaned in, his arm accidentally brushing hers. Neither pulled away. "Can you trace where it was generated?" Lyra's fingers flew over the holographic interface. "It's buried under 17 proxy servers, but yes, I can trace it." Her eyes widened. "Marcus, this originated from Earth Military Command, Sub-Basement 7 of the Pentagon. That's the Strategic Intelligence Division," Marcus finished, his blood running cold. "That's Admiral Victoria Cross's department." "Who is she?" "She's the 3rd highest ranking officer in Earth's military. She was my mentor. Marcus felt sick. "She's the one who brought me the intelligence report. She's the one who urged me to act quickly." Lyra stood up, her eyes flashing gold, excitement mixed with rage. "Then we have our target. She orchestrated everything. But why?" Marcus pulled up Admiral Cross's financial records, another illegal access, but he was past caring about protocol. "Look at this. 3 days before the attack, she made a massive investment in Terran Mining Corporation. And 1 week after Zephiria's destruction, TMC received exclusive mining rights to your planet's crystallium deposits. She killed 3 million people for mining rights? Lyra's voice shook with fury. The room's temperature plummeted again. Marcus gently touched her arm. Lyra, I know you're angry. I am too. But we need to be smart about this. Cross has powerful allies. If we move against her without absolute proof, she'll bury us. Lyra looked at his arm on her arm, then at his face. His eyes held not just guilt anymore, but something else, determination, solidarity, and something softer she didn't want to name. We gather more evidence, we build an airtight case, and then we destroy her. Together, Marcus agreed. Their eyes met, and for the first time, they weren't general and princess, or murderer and victim. They were two people united against a common enemy.
The next 2 months changed everything. Marcus and Lyra became a team, working late into the nights, sharing meals absently as they pored over data. They discovered that Admiral Cross had orchestrated 6 other incidents that led to profitable outcomes for her and her corporate allies. But somewhere between the investigation and the coffee runs, between the shared silences and the stolen glances, something shifted. Lyra noticed the way Marcus's brow furrowed when he concentrated, the way he always made sure she ate when she got too absorbed in work, the way he respected her boundaries, but was always there when she needed support. Marcus noticed the way Lyra's eyes sparkled gold when she was excited about a breakthrough, the way she hummed Zephyrien songs when he thought he wasn't listening, the way she had slowly started to smile again, small smiles, but real ones. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day, Lyra fell asleep at her workstation. Marcus found her there, her silver hair cascading over the desk, her face peaceful for once. Gently, he lifted her and carried her to her bedroom. As he laid her on the bed, her eyes fluttered open. They were violet, the color of happiness and trust. "Marcus," she whispered sleepily. "I'm here," he said softly, pulling a blanket over her. "Stay," she said, her hand catching his. I don't want to be alone tonight." Marcus froze. "Lyra, I don't want to presume. Just sit with me," she clarified. "Please." He sat on the edge of her bed, and she didn't let go of his hand. Within minutes, she was asleep again, but this time without nightmares. Marcus watched over her until dawn, his heart aching with an emotion he thought he'd never feel again. Hope. 3 days later, they had a breakthrough. Lyra cracked Admiral Cross's personal files and found her contingency plan, evidence of every crime kept as insurance. It was enough to bring her down. "We did it," Lyra breathed, staring at the data. "We actually did it." Marcus looked at her, and the joy on her face made his heart soar. "You did it. Your skills, your determination. I'm so sorry it took this long. I'm sorry you had to wait 10 years for justice." Lyra turned to him, her eyes shifting between violet and gold. "Marcus, I need to tell you something." "What is it?" "When I agreed to this marriage, I wanted to kill you." She said it bluntly, watching his reaction. "My plan was to make you fall in love with me and then destroy you emotionally and physically. I wanted you to feel the pain I felt." Marcus didn't flinch. "I know." "You know?" "Lyra, I destroyed your entire world. Of course you wanted revenge. I expected nothing less. I deserved nothing less. But you don't understand," Lyra said, tears forming in her eyes, the first real tears she'd shed in front of him. "I can't kill you anymore, not because of the bond, but because I think I'm falling in love with you, and it terrifies me. How can I love the man who killed my family?" Marcus cupped her face gently, wiping away her tears. "You don't love the man who gave that order. That man was a fool, a puppet who didn't ask enough questions. You love, I hope you love, the man who spent 10 years drowning in guilt, who dedicated every moment to finding the truth, who would give anything to undo that day. "I hate that I love you," Lyra whispered. "I hate that I love you too, because I know I don't deserve you. I don't deserve your forgiveness or your love, but I'm selfish enough to want both anyway." "Marcus." He leaned in slowly, giving her every chance to pull away, but she didn't. Their lips met in a kiss that was 10 years of pain, anger, guilt, hope, and healing all at once. Lyra's eyes blazed violet, then gold, then settled into a warm blue. The color Marcus had never seen before. Happiness. She was happy. When they broke apart, Lyra laughed, a real, genuine laugh. My people have a saying, "The heart knows no logic, only truth." I spent so long trying to hate you, I forgot to listen to what my heart was saying. "And what is it saying now?" Marcus asked, holding her close. "That you are not the enemy I thought you were. That we were both victims of Victoria Cross. That justice matters more than revenge, and that—" She smiled, her eyes sparkling blue. "That I want to see where this goes. Us. Together." "Together," Marcus agreed, kissing her forehead. "We'll bring Cross to justice together, we'll rebuild Zephyria together, and maybe, if you'll let me, I'll spend the rest of my life proving that I can be worthy of you." "You already are," she said softly.
They presented their evidence to the Galactic Council 1 week later. The chamber was packed with representatives from 100 worlds, all eager to see the impossible couple who had somehow made their forced marriage work. Admiral Victoria Cross stood in the center of the chamber, her face composed but her eyes cold. "These are fabricated accusations from a terrorist princess and a disgraced general," she declared. "The council should not—" "The council will hear the evidence," Vedanta interrupted, their form pulsing with authority. For 3 hours, Marcus and Lyra presented their case. Financial records, communications, the fabricated intelligence reports, testimonies from whistleblowers they had tracked down. The evidence was overwhelming. But Cross had one card left to play. "Even if these allegations were true," Cross said smoothly, "you have no authority to arrest me. I'm protected by Earth's military tribunal. The only way to override that protection is through a formal declaration of war by the aggrieved party." She smiled coldly at Lyra. "And if Princess Lyra declares war, the marriage pact is void. The fragile peace between our worlds collapses. Billions die. Is that what you want, Princess? Revenge at the cost of galactic stability?" The chamber erupted in whispers. Lyra stood frozen, the weight of billions of lives on her shoulders. "She's backing you into a corner," Marcus whispered to her. "Whatever you choose, I support you. If you need to declare war to get justice, I'll stand beside you." Lyra looked at him, then at the council, then at Victoria Cross's smug face. Her eyes cycled through every color, red for rage, gray for calculation, gold for excitement, before settling on blue. "No," Lyra said clearly, "I will not declare war." Cross's smile widened. "Then you have no, but I will invoke Article 47 of the Galactic Charter. Any member world can petition for a citizen of another world to be tried for crimes against sentience by the Galactic Court. It supersedes all planetary protections and military tribunals. Admiral Victoria Cross, I formally petition for your arrest and trial for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against peace." The chamber fell silent. Then Vedanta spoke. "Article 47 is acknowledged. Admiral Victoria Cross, you are hereby remanded to galactic custody pending trial." Cross's face twisted with rage as security drones surrounded her. You'll regret this, both of you. You think you've won? I have allies everywhere. Your allies are already under investigation. We sent the evidence to the appropriate authorities. By tomorrow, 17 high-ranking officials across 3 governments will be arrested. Your entire network is collapsing." As Cross was led away, still screaming threats, Lyra swayed slightly. Marcus caught her, and she leaned into him. "It's over," she whispered. "After 10 years, it's finally over." "No," Marcus said gently. "It's not over. It's beginning. Now comes the hard part. Rebuilding, healing, learning to live with what we've been through. But we'll do it together." Vedanta approached them, the ancient being's eyes twinkling with something that might have been approval. "You have both surprised me. Princess Lyra, you chose justice over revenge. General Marcus, you chose truth over self-preservation. The cosmos works in mysterious ways." "Did you know?" Lyra asked. "When you bound us together, did you know we would fall in love?" Vedanta's form shimmered with what might have been a smile. "I knew the potential was there. I knew that forcing 2 wounded souls together would either destroy them both or heal them both. I chose to believe in the healing." "Thank you," Marcus said sincerely. "Do not thank me yet," Vedanta replied. "Your true test is yet to come. Returning to your worlds, facing those who doubt your union, rebuilding trust. Love is easy when you're united against a common enemy. Can you maintain it when you're simply living?" Lyra and Marcus looked at each other and smiled. "We'll figure it out," Lyra said, taking Marcus's hand. "One day at a time." 6 months later, Lyra stood on the same balcony where she had stood 10 years ago, watching her world burn. But now, the twin suns of Zephyria rose over a world reborn. With Earth's resources and Zephyrian technology working together, the reconstruction had been swift. The Crystal Palace had been rebuilt, more beautiful than before. Cities rose from the ashes, and in the central square, a memorial stood, 3 million names carved in eternal light, a reminder of what hatred costs. Marcus joined her on the balcony, wrapping his arms around her from behind. "What are you thinking about?" "I'm thinking about how much I've changed," Lyra said, leaning back into him. "The girl who stood here 10 years ago died that day. But maybe that's okay. Maybe she needed to die so I could become who I am now." "And who are you now?" Marcus asked, kissing her temple. "I'm someone who chose love over hate. Someone who learned that justice and revenge are not the same thing. Someone who found happiness in the last place I expected." She turned in his arms, her eyes the permanent warm blue they had become in recent months. "I'm someone who loves you, Marcus Kane, despite everything, because of everything." "I love you too," Marcus said, "and I promise I'll spend every day of the rest of our lives earning that love." "You already have," Lyra said, kissing him. Below them, in the reconstructed gardens, a ceremony was beginning. Earth and Zephyrian children, born after the war, played together, the first generation who would grow up knowing peace. Representatives from both worlds gathered to sign the official alliance treaty, transforming their forced marriage into a genuine partnership between civilizations. Vedanta appeared beside them on the balcony, startling them both. "I came to tell you that Admiral Cross's trial concluded today. She was found guilty on all counts. She and her co-conspirators will spend the remainder of their lives in stasis imprisonment, reliving the pain they caused."
Lyra nodded slowly. Good. That's good. Are you satisfied with this justice? Vedanta asked. Lyra considered the question. I thought justice would make me feel whole again, but it doesn't. What makes me feel whole is this. She gestured to the gardens below, the children playing, the two worlds united. Building something better, making sure that day never happens again. Wisdom, Vedanta said approvingly. True wisdom. You have both grown far beyond what I expected. The ancient being began to fade. I will leave you with one final gift, a Zephyrian prophecy. When vengeance burns brightest, love shines eternal. When hate seems strongest, forgiveness proves mightier. For in the space between two hearts, galaxies are born. As Vedanta vanished, Marcus and Lyra stood together, watching their two worlds celebrate unity. Do you ever regret it? Marcus asked quietly. Choosing me over revenge? Lyra smiled, her eyes sparkling. Not for a single moment. Revenge would have given me one instant of satisfaction. Love gives me a lifetime of happiness. I made the right choice. Even though I'll always carry the guilt of what I did? Even though, Lyra confirmed. We both carry scars, Marcus. But scars mean we survived, and now we get to build something beautiful from the wreckage. Marcus pulled her close, and they watched the twin suns fully rise over Zephyria. A new day, a new beginning, a new chapter in their impossible love story. Below them, a Zephyrian child pointed up at the balcony and asked her Earth friend, "Who are they?" The Earth child smiled. "That's Princess Lyra and General Marcus. My mom says they saved the galaxy." "How?" "Because they chose love when everyone expected war." The Zephyrian child considered this. "That sounds like a fairy tale." "The best ones always are," the Earth child replied. And on the balcony, Marcus and Lyra heard the exchange and laughed, because it was a fairy tale, the strangest, most painful, most beautiful fairy tale ever told. A tale of how cosmic vengeance became cosmic love, how enemies became soulmates, how justice triumphed over revenge, and how two broken people healed each other against all odds. The galaxy would tell their story for generations. The general who carried his guilt into redemption, and the princess who transformed her pain into peace. The couple who proved that even the deepest wounds can heal, even the darkest hatred can transform, even the most impossible love can flourish. Because in the end, love is not about forgetting the past. It's about choosing a different future.
Together. Always together.
1 year later. The council chambers buzzed with anticipation. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy had gathered for the historic announcement. Lyra and Marcus stood before them, holding hands. Lyra's other hand rested on her slightly swollen belly. "People of the galaxy," Lyra began, her voice clear and strong. "1 year ago, my husband and I were symbols of pain and division. Today, we are proud to announce that we will welcome a child, a daughter, who will be the first true child of Earth and Zephyria." The chamber erupted in applause. Marcus continued, "We are naming her Hope Zor-El Kane. Hope, because that's what she represents. A future where our children don't carry our grudges. A future where different worlds truly become one family." Lyra smiled, her eyes that permanent, beautiful blue. My parents once told me that the greatest revenge is happiness. I didn't understand then, but now I do. The best way to honor those we've lost is not to perpetuate the cycle of pain, but to create a world where such loss never happens again. Marcus squeezed her hand. We can't change the past. I will always carry the weight of what happened 10 years ago. But we can change the future, and our daughter will inherit a galaxy built on peace, not vengeance. As they left the podium, Vedanta appeared one final time. You have exceeded all expectations, the ancient being said softly. Your story will echo through eternity, a reminder that the greatest power in the universe is not revenge or hatred, but the courage to love despite the pain. Thank you, Lyra and Marcus said together. No, Vedanta replied, fading away. Thank you. You've given the cosmos hope. That night, on the balcony of their home, a place that existed simultaneously on both Earth and Zephyria through quantum architecture, Lyra and Marcus watched the stars. Do you think Hope will ask about that day? Lyra wondered, hand on her belly. Probably, said Marcus. And when she does, we'll tell her the truth, all of it, the good and the bad, the pain and the healing. And we'll teach her that love is always the answer? Marcus kissed her softly. No, we'll teach her that love is always a choice, and choosing it, especially when it's hard, is the bravest thing anyone can do. Lyra leaned into him, feeling their daughter move inside her, feeling the bond between her and Marcus pulse with love and life, feeling the twin suns of Zephyria and the single sun of Earth both shining in their sky. Once upon a time, a princess swore vengeance on the man who destroyed her world, but love had other plans. And so cosmic vengeance became cosmic love, and two broken souls became whole, and the galaxy found peace in the most unexpected place, in the space between two hearts that chose to heal instead of hurt, to build instead of destroy, to love instead of hate. Because in the end, that's what makes us truly sentient. Not our capacity for revenge, but our capacity for forgiveness. Not our ability to hate, but our courage to love. Even when, especially when, it seems impossible. In the vast darkness of space, love shines brightest. In the deepest pain, hope grows strongest. And in the choice between vengeance and forgiveness, we find who we truly are. Zephyrian proverb, adopted by Earth, 2158.